a woman working tirelessly for decades to unify her community. A group inspiring children and bridging the gaps in their lives. Volunteers tearing down and building up, acting to bust blight. All nominated by you to receive an inaugural Detroit 2020 Award. Now, join us as we honor those making a profound difference in our community as we present the Detroit 2020 Awards.
Hello, we'd like to welcome you to the inaugural Detroit 2020 Awards. We are so excited to have you here with us at Broadcast House. I'm Stephen Clark.
And I'm Carolyn Clifford. You all look beautiful, and we're so happy you are here today.
And I'm Dave Llewellyn, and I echo those statements. Welcome to each and every one of you.
And we do want to make a quick announcement because Dave is actually the brand new member of the Detroit 2020 team, so we're so happy to have you.
And I'm thrilled to be part of this.
Today we're honoring the people and the organizations who are making a profound difference in our community. These people who are living up to the Detroit 2020 motto, which I wear on my wrist 24/7, unify, inspire, and act.
And we want you to know all of the winners and finalists who are here today in this room were nominated by our viewers, which is a wonderful thing. We received nearly 300 nominations for the Detroit 2020 Awards. How about that?
Right now, we'd like to introduce you to the engine who drives Detroit 2020. He's our Vice President and General Manager of WXYZ, Ed Fernandez.
Thank you so much, Stephen, Carolyn, and Dave. We are incredibly excited to have you here today at Broadcast House. It's a very, very special day in the evolution of Detroit 2020. Detroit 2020's goal is to make Detroit a better place to live, work, and raise a family. And when I say Detroit, I mean all of Southeast Michigan. We are all one Detroit, and that's the one thing we have to make sure we remember. So, welcome. We're so glad you're here. Enjoy today's presentation, and I'll turn it back to our hosts.
We're going to begin with the Unify Award, honoring the person or organization that worked to bring the community and people together in 2011. The finalists for the Unify Award were Bishop Adolphus Cast of Life Application Ministries in Warren. The other finalists for the Unify Award, Terry Shaw of the CEM Business Association. Now here's a story about the winner of the inaugural Detroit 2020 Unify Award, Toni McIlwain. Take a look. In the Ravendale community on Detroit's east side, neighbors look out for each other in good times and bad. And so when there was an explosion at Keena Yeldell Harrison's house on Maiden Street, she knew she wouldn't have to suffer through this alone.
All my neighbors came to help me.
One of the first on the scene was Ravendale's biggest champion, Toni McIlwain.
We just call her and she'd be right there.
Toni has been there for the residents of Wade Street since 1988. Soon after she moved in, she complimented one of the neighbors on a beautiful flower bed.
I said to herself, "Hi, my name is Toni McIlwain." I said, "Those are some pretty flowers." And she looked at me, she said, "Lady, didn't nobody ask you your name?"
Right then, Toni decided to change attitudes in her neighborhood. She made up her mind to start a block club.
And everyone started noticing this one little block, how it transformed from a deteriorating block to a more livable block.
Soon residents on nearby streets began to ask Toni for help with their blocks.
I have organized 32 block clubs.
She has unified the 4,000 people in the area. How did Toni become such a unifying force? That part of her story begins with a rat in a dumpster. Toni was in her 20s. She had 4 children and a husband who was physically abusive.
I was shot once in the head, and I ended up living on the streets of Detroit.
There was a grocery store that occasionally gave her food for the kids.
One day this store was closed, and I remember walking around to the alley looking in the dumpster for food.
A rat ran out and scampered down the alley. It had gotten to the food first.
And I remember praying to God, if you just open up one door for me, I will give back the rest of my life.
That was the start. Toni began to turn her life around.
And I moved into this neighborhood. I said, that's where I could help make the change. That's where I could give back.
This welcoming community center is the heart of the Ravendale community. You can think of it as Toni's home because it's where she has put out the welcome mat.
When people walk in this door with their shoulders slumped because they're down and out, you know, if they leave out of here just a little, standing up just a little straighter, feeling good about coming here and that they're really going to get some help.
And the help comes in many forms. For instance, this computer class that helps residents update their skills. There's a resale shop.
Everyone that's here is from this community.
There's a senior program during the day and an after-school program for kids.
In the summer, we have over 200 youth that we serve.
For years, she has been at the forefront of neighborhood cleanup efforts. When tensions ran high between store owners and residents, Toni brought the two sides together and helped develop a code of conduct for each. Her contributions have not gone unnoticed. Everyone, from presidents to residents, have recognized her efforts. Toni will continue to work for her community because she has a promise to keep.
It's my life. And it's a life that I feel that I have to keep going until I can't go anymore.
She gives me great hope, great hope.
Wow. She gives us all great hope, huh? Unifying Detroit, and that's what this award is really all about. And this is our very first one for you, Toni. Hold that for me. Hold that. Of course, this is the winner of the inaugural Detroit 2020 Unify Award, Toni McIlwain of the Ravendale community. She's crying, and we're crying right along with her. Our hearts are feeling you. You do so much good in our community. Toni, along with the award, we do have a check for you from the Scripps Howard Foundation. She didn't know she was getting this for $7,000 to further your efforts in the Ravendale community and to improve your community. We love you. Thank you.
And I have to acknowledge the people at my table because if it wasn't for them believing in what we do in that community, I can't thank them enough. The volunteers, the people that come in all the time. But I like to end it with just this poem I wrote about neighborhoods years ago, and it goes, neighbors, neighbors, it is time to shout and explain what dignity is all about. See, we must feel good about where we live before we can even begin to give. Trash tires are everywhere. Must inner city neighborhoods be in despair? Street lights are out. There are potholes too. Abandoned homes and buildings, just to name a few. Now, when friends and relatives come to visit, see, we also want to feel good. To be able to point and proudly say, look, that's my neighborhood. There are those of us who are living right, and we really don't want to move. See, we choose to live in our city. We just want to see our neighborhoods improve. Of course, there's great developments. Casino, the Tiger Stadium is new. But what about our neighborhood? Don't we deserve an uplift too? So listen, top officials, please. Don't you hear our cry? Our neighborhoods, they need attention because they're about to die. So residents, you have the right. Let them know that you have pride. You go to work and you pay your taxes. Stand up and don't be denied. Thank you.